Hey there, happy Monday to you. I am really excited to share with you what's been coming in for me this morning for today's session. If you've been watching the news, hopefully just enough to keep yourself informed, here in the US, we're being told that we need to prepare ourselves for what may be a very painful and even scary next couple of 2 weeks. And here's what I know for myself, I know for the people I work with is probably true for you. How most of us respond to fear is either we try and shut it down and not be afraid, or without even realizing it, we amplify it. We amplify it all the more. That does not support us either way, shutting down the fear or feeding it and fueling it. And so today I want to give you an opportunity to understand how you can be in relationship with any fear that you're feeling in a way that can empower you and open you to feeling peace, if that's a good sentence, and also can allow you to experience some peace. Because here's the thing, most of us can't do anything to change what is causing our fear. If you're afraid for yourself or for a loved one, about the COVID-19, you can take safe measures like stay at home, wash your hands a lot, minimize the contact, do the social distancing. But beyond that, you can't do much to change the fact that this virus is rampant in our world. Okay? You can't change the externals. Maybe you're unemployed right now because the company you work for has had to close businesses and you've been been laid off. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're not sure where your income's going to come from right now because people are maybe not wanting to spend money. And so maybe you have some fear around the economy and the economic fallout of this. And at least right now, there's not much you can do to change that external reality. Good morning, Laura. One of the illusions we have about fear, and this is big because I know it well, is that the stuff that's going on around us is what's causing the fear. It's not. Fear is an internal response to what is happening. And unless, you literally are fighting for breath because you've got the virus, or you're walking across the street and a Mack truck is suddenly like 10 feet from you, okay? The stuff that's causing our fear right now is more how we're responding to the reality of things. Now, when a Mack truck is coming at me crossing the retreat, my fear response to that is very empowering. It's very primitive. It's very primal. It's like, I'm going to jump because I want to stay alive. It just comes right here. It's not even conscious. It's just instinct. It comes right from the oldest part of our brains. It's that fight, flight, freeze instinct. That's empowering fear. When we're responding to something in the moment that is actually threatening us. Now, I'm clear this virus is actually threatening some people. And many of us, if you're here watching right now, it's not threatening you in this moment. Not in this moment. Now, if you start to worry about what's going to happen this week and next week or whatever, now you've left this moment and you're going to create this scary picture, what my coach calls awfulizing, and then you're amplifying the fear. You're the one who's creating the fear. It's not in response to what is happening in this moment. It's in response to what you're thinking might happen or could happen, that a scary movie that you're playing in your mind. Okay? Now, I'm not making you wrong for that. It's really easy to get caught in that scary movie. In reaction to that, you might be tempted like to just shut down. I'm not going to feel afraid. I'm not going to let myself feel afraid. But here's the thing. If you are feeling fear or anxiety or worry and you try and shut it down, you're just locking it in and amplifying it in another way. This morning in my prayer time, I kept hearing the word here, here, here. And I really got that one part of that message was, everything we do must be in response to what's here, right in front of us, right in front of us. And if right now you're feeling afraid, it's normal, it's understandable. It's not about shutting it down. It's about being with you feeling afraid and empowering yourself in that fear, in those feelings, without amplifying them. So how do you do that? Well, that's one of the reasons I'm offering these daily videos. It's to give you an opportunity with me to practice anchoring ourselves in something bigger than us. That there's more going on here than what we can see. There is goodness and hope and new life and love woven through all of what looks scary. I call that something a bigger God. It could be the universe. It could be the source of life. Okay. We need to anchor ourselves in that and bring ourselves back to the here in this moment. What's here in this moment? And how do I support and empower myself in this moment? So if you're feeling that anxiety, that worry, that fear, that dread, that's in our collective energies. It's not about shutting it down, nor is it about fueling it and making it bigger. It's about being here with you and with those feelings right now and responding to it in a way that's empowering. And first of all, it's about allowing yourself to feel it. Not even go to, well, I shouldn't be feeling it because it ain't even happening. It's like, what's here right now is I am feeling afraid. And some of that fear isn't even in response to what's happening. It's like old fears that have been shut down. It's fears from past traumas that this pandemic is surfacing. And in that, you have an opportunity to respond to yourself and your fear in a way that can bring peace and can empower you. Now, the best way I know, first step, is what we're going to do for the next few minutes. So if right now there's a concern, a fear, an anxiety, a dread, just anything like that that's there for you, even if it's kind of in the back of your mind, or maybe it's like right here in front of you, I just invite you to claim that. Just claim that internally. Okay, right now, some part of me, it doesn't have to be all of you, a part of me is feeling afraid. A part of me is feeling anxious. A part of me is feeling worried. Just claim that. Because when we claim it, we neutralize it. When we don't claim it, we amplify it. And then I just invite you to begin to take some long, slow, deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. Now, one thing about breathing is we can only do it moment by moment. There's no way we can breathe in all the oxygen we need for a week. We have to do it moment by moment. It's a moment by moment, here, here, here practice. So I just invite you to do that. And as you're breathing, just let that fear or that worry or that anxiety be part of this experience and continue to breathe. Breathe very deeply and very fully. opening to receive that oxygen that gives you life, and exhaling out to release, to release. We're not trying to make the fear go away. We're being here with the fear, and we're bringing something else in. We're bringing in this oxygen, this life force energy that I believe is the spirit of God or the divine, the life energy that flows through all the universe. And that's really important. We're not trying to make the fear go away. We're being here with it and bringing something else in. It's really important when you're feeling afraid or worried or scared. This is something I learned from one of my coaches, Jeffrey, that you breathe. More than anything, that you breathe in this rhythmic manner. You claim it, you admit it, and then you focus on breathing, because when you breathe in a regular, rhythmic, life-giving manner, your that primitive part of your brain that reacts, fight, flight, freeze when it's threatened, when it's death, it's like it doesn't get triggered as much. Doesn't get triggered as much. When you're like, I'm afraid, and you're not breathing, now it's signal, oh my God, I'm not breathing. That's like dying, that's threatening. And so it's going to amplify that fear even more. And now you're in survival mode, and we don't need to be. So by being able to claim the fear and breathe despite it, through it, just be right there with whatever's feeling scary. Maybe you watched the news just before you got on here, and you heard of the death toll story, and you felt a pit in your stomach. Okay, breathe, breathe. Not to make the fear go away, but to bring something else in with the fear. And as you do that, you may notice that pit in your stomach, or that constriction in your chest, or that tightness in your body where your body's holding that fear. You can begin to relax just a little bit. And that's a key moment, my friends. That's a key moment, because now the fear may still be there, and something else is coming in, something more powerful. And only then can you begin to bring in your mind. Only then. Only then. And you can begin to check, what am I feeling afraid of? Is it happening right now, right here? Is there something that this fear is trying to tell me, an action for me to take? Is it intuition saying, no, don't go grocery shopping today? Is it saying, make a mask? Is it, sometimes our fear is giving us important information, but we have to hear it, not from that frantic place, but okay, I'm breathing, and let me see. Or is it just that I'm making up scary scenarios of what could happen and what might happen, and that's not where I'm at? And if it's the latter, then just bring yourself all the more breath by breath here, and maybe open your eyes and begin to look around and see what's here. What is here? I'm looking around, and I'm seeing, my bookshelf, and I'm seeing a picture of Dan and I, and I'm looking outside, and I'm seeing birds, and I'm seeing trees, and I'm seeing so many things in the here that do not create a fear response. And I can breathe, and I can breathe, and I can breathe. I'm not shutting down or denying the fear. I'm not letting myself amplify the fear in ways that just create more fear. I'm hearing it. I'm being with it. I'm claiming it. I'm letting myself feel it. And I'm empowering myself by bringing something else in and getting clear on what's here. What's here? Is there a message the fear's telling me that's going to support me and empower me? Or is the fear just a warning that, like, oh, I've stopped paying attention to what's here and I've gone off in the future, so let me bring myself back to here. Now, here's the thing. You can do this, my friend, and it doesn't mean the fear goes away right away. But it makes it less hot. We're no longer in the grips of it. And then we can make choices that are really much more empowered than any choices we can make when we're in reaction to fear, other than those primal ones when a Mack truck is bearing down on you. Anchor yourself, even with fear, in a trusting that even in the midst of all this and what may seem scary, there's something bigger that this is all part of. Something more loving, creative, powerful, generous, intelligent, lasting. And then be there for and with yourself in empowered, healthy ways around fear. It was Winston Churchill who said, I think it was Winston Churchill. No, it was FDR, but Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. But the only way to not fear fear is to go right at it. Go right at it. Not amplify it, not shut it down, but go right into it in a way that you can bring something else in. You can position the fear in something bigger than you. You can connect with something bigger than you. And you can respond to the fear in ways that empower you. So let's do that right now, in case there's any lingering residual fear. And if there's not, great. Then to spend a minute just breathing, being present to all that's still like life-giving and supportive in your life is also a great, great action. So let's just take 1 minute together here. And I just invite you to continue to take these conscious breaths. Just really realize that right in this moment here, you have all that you need. And there is nothing here to fear. And from that place of power and peace and love, inhale this life force that you're being given. And as you exhale, send your energy of love and peace and power out into the world, where it can be like sunshine to fog. In the vibrational energy of the world we live in, you can be bringing some other energy into the fear cloud that so many are living under and in. 1 minute together. Thank you for being here with me today. Those of you on replay, Laura, thanks for joining live this morning. Let me know if you're willing in the comments to just share if this did support you to empower yourself when fear is around you and is showing up in you. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'll be back same time tomorrow with another opportunity to support you and me to anchor ourselves in abundance. Blessings on your day. Be safe.